It's alright. Suits and mics. You be with me through every step of the ride.
Welcome to East Coast DNA. I have
Hey.
another friend here that I met on the road. So we were both down in Yarmouth. I have Silas Bonnell. So welcome, Silas.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. So I did do a little bit of digging into who you were. When we met, it was because you were running a merch table as a volunteer at the Music Nova Scotia's Music Week.
Yep.
So we obviously like some of the same things because we were gravitating towards each other over that more so than the fact that I was media and you're also a musician.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. The merch table was it was a really good opportunity because everyone was kind of like either going to the bar or to the bathroom and they had to pass by me either way. And so I met all kinds of people like that.
Yeah, it was a good like Grand Central Station for you right there.
Very much, yeah.
So now anyone that's watching the video version of this can probably pick up on it pretty quick, but you're actually one of our younger guests that have been on the show.
Yeah.
There's been a few around your age actually, which is a good thing to see. When I first started doing music podcasts, I was curious if there was any young people that were into music because we had a couple of years of things shut down. You weren't seeing it, but now I'm seeing quite a bit of it. So you actually started very young in life. So even though you're still young yourself, you just had, was it like your fourth album that you just had out?
I just so the album I just put out, Lights, was my ninth studio album I did.
Ninth studio album. Wow.
And there was some albums before they got taken down. So currently there's 4 out. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your older style when you were younger would have been your more closely traditional singer-songwriter East Coast where you have acoustic guitar. And I mean, a lot of people start off that way. But I'm curious, like I know you started around age 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious, that puts you in around like 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So I don't want to make any assumptions on what type of influences led you into that. And then your newer material is more, I would say pop influenced, but it's not exactly mainstream pop influenced either. So I know a lot of bands that I would go to, and the newer stuff, I almost want to say Jamiroquai, but that might not even be something that's on your radar. The folkier stuff, I want to go to what your traditional classics are, but I'm thinking with the era in which you would have been growing up and playing music, it might be more like Death Cab for Cutie or more modern bands. So maybe give a little bit of insight into what a 5-year-old getting into music was into and how that led to, what are you, 19 now?
Yeah, almost 20, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so especially as a kid, it was really funny. Um you're you're close in the sense of what I'm doing now, but as a kid, I didn't actually listen to any pop music at all. I grew up in a Christian household, and so a lot of what I listened to, I grew up on heavy opera. I grew up like a lot of opera and a lot of Southern gospel. So I really found my love for the acoustic guitar when I started, like I was listening to like Southern gospel records. You hear these guys like doing bluegrass, and I was sitting there, I was like, what is going on? That's so cool. And so that's kind of where I started as a kid. And I used to just play church tunes. I played straight all the way until I was probably about um 15, 15 or 16. And then I was like, I never even thought about writing a song. And I had a girlfriend at the time. I was like, what if I just wrote her a song as like a little gift? And then I wrote her a song and it turned out like okay. And then she was like, this is really cool. And I was like, oh, I should do this more often. And then I just kind of just kept going with it.
And now, not to get off track, but parallel to all of that, you're also a little bit unique. You're a little bit of a jock as well. I see that you're a quick little Google search, your hockey stats show up before your music stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't start playing hockey till really late either. Just because hockey is stupidly expensive. I think I started playing hockey when I was 15. So I started really late, but I did enjoy. I played for Dartmouth High and my high school team and stuff like that. So it was, yeah, I like hockey. It was a lot of fun.
So at the age that you are now, this is an assumption, so definitely correct me here. I'm
Mm.
assuming that high schools in the rear view were very close, if
Yeah,
not, yeah.
yeah,
So are you in any music programs now? Is that the way you're looking for career?
yeah. So I'm doing music production and audio engineering at NACC. I took a gap year, well, kind of a gap year. I thought I was going to be a lawyer, so I went away to St. Thomas University for 6 months, and then I was like, this isn't for me. All I could think about while I was there was that I wanted to make music, so I was like, you know what, might as well pull the trigger, and I came back, and now that's what I'm doing full time.
Not to go all like dad mode, but that's
Yeah,
probably not a bad thing to have in parallel because
yeah.
you'd be able to know all the legal ramifications when you start getting into like copyrights and licensing and all that type of thing too.
Yeah, I learned a lot there that I didn't think I would learn or be
Mhm.
useful for. And so in a sense, I kind of wasted a lot of money, but in a sense, I also gained a lot of information that I would have never gotten if I hadn't have gone. So it kind of has its pros and cons. So it was a
Oh
good
yeah, I'm sure
experience.
the foundational stuff that you would have learned will probably be very useful. You just haven't gotten to
Mm,
that chapter of your life where you need to worry about the
yeah,
legal speak yet. So
yeah.
you'll end up realizing it when one of your friends needs help with something and you're like, oh, that just means this. And like, how do you know that?
Through my extensive law degree.
Yes. So now you had a single that you released not that long ago, which was the
No, yeah.
latest song that we were talking about. So that would be from your latest album as well.
No, no, so that would be so Japanese Daylight is the song that came out on October 13th. And that's gonna be part of the album that's coming in the near future.
Excellent. Okay.
So yeah.
Is that where you had a kind of change in sound then? Like I didn't go through all of your catalog. I did
Hmm.
recognize your Sunflower song. And
Oh, really?
when I said that I recognized you and I wasn't sure about the hockey relation, because I'm not a sports guy, but I know people that are.
Hmm.
I was looking a little bit and I actually in my YouTube history had that song in there.
Really?
So that's definitely where I recognized you from. I must have seen an article or a feature on you back
Yeah.
a couple of years ago now.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So yeah,
Um,
there's been a change between then and now, and that's only 2 years. So is the
yeah.
new material going to be uh, inspired by different genres?
Yeah. I think when I first started, you have it totally right. I was in folk kind of era. And then I was like, I figured out how to use synths. And I was like, well, now I gotta mess around and see what I can do. And so that's when I made lights. And so it's kind of more on the poppy side, but that's just kind of me messing around and seeing what I can do. And so now I feel like this album that's coming up is really something that like without it being cringy, it is me, if this makes sense. Because now I'm
Yeah.
done experimenting. I know what I do like and what I don't like, and now I'm combining everything I do like and making this album. You get like the funk and the blues and things like that, which is where I really lean heavy on. And
That,
so yeah, that's it's still gonna have the folk influence, still gonna have some cool synth things, but it's gonna be a lot more funky and R&B and stuff like that. So
that is the interesting spot for the people that I'm seeing coming
mm,
up right now is exactly what you're doing. Is that you're creating your own sound by blending all your inspirations.
yeah,
And instead of traditionally trying to say, well, here's a box I'd like to perform in, you're saying, here's all the different toys I want to play with. I'm going to make my own little toy box and
yeah,
put stuff out over here. So it's great to see that you're actually learning the back end too, so that you can be kind of a self-managed person as well. But I do see that you're already very easy to find out there. You get quite a bit of followers out there. So do you direct people to Instagram for you as your account for your music career?
yeah. I think everything kind of centralizes around Instagram. If you're not talking about like a streaming platform, Instagram is probably the best way to figure out what's going on.
And now, as far as streaming platforms, it would also be interesting too that your entirety of your career, even though you were a child,
Hmm.
is in a digital era. So
Yeah.
by the time you were creating any content, you were already digesting content in the new era of digital consumption.
Hmm.
So I think it probably would have been easier for you to wrap your head around how to release something. But
Yeah.
did you immediately, in like a DIY approach, just figure out how to release stuff? Or did you early on have people as kind of mentors or people to help manage some of that?
Um, in a sense, I had a lot of mentors that were good instrumentalists that were like more like we jam and we're just really good at jamming, but less on the recording side. So, like finding out how to release things was a huge thing when I made my label. Um, and I was like, well, I'm sure there's other people that don't know how to release things like me. At the time, there was no one. I wasn't good enough for anyone to be like, oh, we gotta sign that kid.
Hmm.
And so I was like, okay, well, I searched out and there's a platform called DistroKid,
Hmm.
and you can make a massive branch of like artists you can hold. And so I was like, oh, why don't I just create this so I know how to do it? So I learned how metadata works and submitting your stores and all that stuff. And so then I got a bunch of my friends who also want to make music, and then they come and make music, they put it out. And I kind of just branched from there. And now I've got 8 or 9 full-time artists that I work with. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really cool.
Now, are those artists all like HRM based?
Yeah, minus Will C, who's a friend of mine that I met at Stu. And he's from Truro, but he lives in Fredericton School right now.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
are these all active people that we're going to see material coming from in the near future?
Yeah. I got really lucky because I find a lot of people really don't want to look at the people that aren't big yet. I don't understand it. It's a massive thing where everyone's like, if you're small, even if you're amazing, if you're small, no one wants to touch you. But I kind of want to go for that genre because there's so many artists that are just like so stinking good that
Yeah.
just don't know how to create a following and will just kind of loaf under the radar until they have like this one little break. And so I picked up a good friend of mine, Eliza Rhinelander. I have Will C. I had Super Push, which was like a rock band here. Those are like kind of the three bigger ones that are doing a lot of shows right now. But yeah, no, they're really cool. They're kind of making their own thing, and they produce with me, and we go through and make all kinds of music, and they're really passionate about it. So a lot of
Awesome.
fun.
Definitely in the future, I want you to keep me up to date with what's going on with them. And if you're helping in that capacity, if you end up doing any press releases or anything, just end up
Mm,
add my email address in there and I'll help
yeah,
promote some of it as go along. But I'd definitely welcome any of those artists to come on here and tell their stories as well.
absolutely. I'll have to reach out and see what they say.
And I know one of the names that you mentioned was familiar right off the bat because the single that we were talking about, Japanese Daylight,
Yeah,
also features her as a guest vocalist.
yeah, Eliza.
So maybe we'll play off with that song, but do you want to give a little bit of background behind the meaning of the song and the collaboration with her as well?
Yeah, sure. So, me and Eliza have done a lot of writing together and we've done some shows together. And I wrote this song about when I worked at the airport. I used to get home at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'd want to make music because I didn't want to go to bed early up. It's like, well, I gotta wake up at 7 p.m. the next day. So I was like, I need an excuse to stay up and write and produce, make music. And my excuse was, oh, it's Japanese daylight. And so that was kind of where that came from. And then I reached out to Eliza, and she was like, yeah, this is totally awesome, I'm in. And she wrote her verse. And I think the coolest thing about that though is we while I was at Music Week, someone came up to me and they were like, I had no idea who they were, and they're like, do you know what time it is? I was like, I don't know, what time is it? It's like midnight. She's like, it's Japanese daylight.
Ah,
And so
awesome.
it's making something. So yeah, I'm excited
Yeah,
about it.
that's awesome. Well, hopefully anybody that's new to you as of this episode here too likes the song, goes out there and starts following your accounts, and you get a couple new people out there. But I also welcome anyone that's a fan of Silas that happened to wander over into my neck of the woods here. If you're new to East Coast DNA, Please hit subscribe. We have a lot of new content coming out, and there's been a burst of content. As you can see in the background, there's some live performances up on our YouTube channel as well. So definitely go out there and check out what our region has to offer for artists. Definitely Silas and I will be talking again in the future. It sounds like we have a similar mindset into what we're looking to promote out here.
Yeah.
So thank you again for your time, Silas. And we'll play off here with Japanese Daylight.
Thank you.
Great, thanks.
I just want you in the daylight. It's a long drive, we'll make it work. It's alright. Suits and mics, you be with me through every step of the ride. Imagine life with me and you, girl, that sounds just right. So listen up to the feeling of the guitar playing. Get up, feel the rhythm move your face. You close your eyes, I'm up running on Japanese Daylight. It's the middle of the night. Japanese Daylight. It's the middle of the night. Japanese Daylight. It's the middle of the night. We got Japanese Daylight.
Headlights shining almost like the daylight, so bright as if it isn't well past midnight. So tight that someone said we're going down, down tonight. So I'll be fine, just you and me until the morning light.
So look up,
Can't see the stars, not even one.
get up.
Dance until the music stops. Close my eyes.
Why can't we just run on Japanese Daylight?
Middle of the night.
Japanese Daylight.
It's the middle of the night.
Japanese Daylight.
Middle of the night.
We got Japanese Daylight. Just get up. Get up. Get up. Yeah, get up. Just get up. Get up. Get up. Yeah. Just get up. Feel the slap of that diamond compression. Feel the heat of this bass guitar. I've been here since 2 a.m. and I really ain't gotten very far. But I know a girl who plays the ride. She cranks up on that overdrive. Feel, take it on up to here.
Close your eyes.
I'm up running on. Feel the slap of that diamond crashing. Feel the heat of this bass guitar. I've been here since 2 a.m. and I really ain't gotten very far. But I know a girl who plays the ride. She cranks up on that overdrive. So feel, take it on up to here.